With the 11th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from Hamilton, Canada, and the University of Kentucky.
Second Wildcat.
G'day guys, Crazy here with another NBA season preview. Today we're looking at the LA Clippers. The LA Clippers are coming off a season in which they finished 42-40, which was a pretty good result in the brutal Western Conference considering the amount of injuries and upheaval that this squad went through. Lob City is officially over. Chris Paul gone, Blake Griffin gone, DeAndre Jordan gone, Austin Rivers gone. This roster has had a massive overhaul, and to remain competitive and still put up 42 wins was an impressive result. You can see here Lou Will, 50 points against the Warriors, was without question their individual season highlight. Big Lou had a career year. The 6'1", 175 pounder averaged 22.6 points per game. That was 4 points higher than any other season in his career. He also played 32.8 minutes, which was about 3 minutes higher than any season, and he shot the ball at 43% with a career mark of 42, and he shot his threes at 36%. Also dished out 5.3 assists. Career high before that was 4.2, so Big Lou had an unbelievably good year, and he thought he was very, very stiff to miss out on the All-Star game. I feel he did deserve to miss out because that Western Conference roster was stacked. And the reason Sweet Lou had to play so many games was the devastating amount of injuries this team took. Pat Beverley only suited up for 11 games as a Clipper with 12 points and shooting the three at about 40%. Pat's loss was a huge one. He's a leader of this team with his defense and hustle and sheer peskiness. He is only a career 9.4 point per game and 3.5 assist guy, so I hope the Clippers aren't pinning too much hopes on what Pat can do. Once the Clippers decided to trade Blake Griffin to the Detroit Pistons, they received Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley in return. Unfortunately, Avery Bradley only lasted 6 games with the Clippers before being shut down for the remainder of the season. He was averaging 14.3 points per game at the time of being injured, and he is one of the great defenders at his size of 6'2". Him and Pat Beverley could annoy many backcourts in the NBA this season if they can stay healthy. Tobias Harris, he suited up for 80 games last year, and he's been pretty serviceable in his career. 18.6 points and 5.5 rebounds while shooting the ball at 41% from 3. He's quite an underrated player who's a very good defender. I would just like to see him get a few more rebounds and really take over some games and maybe get into the 20 point per game range this season. Injuries yet again struck Danilo Gallinari as he only suited up for 21 games, and he scored 15.3 points per game, which is his career average, and 4.8 rebounds. Dano actually suits the modern game pretty well as a big 3 or a stretch 4, but he's only managed 481 games since making his debut in 2008 with the Knicks. The Clippers hope they struck gold with the 11th pick in the draft with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The 6'6" product out of Kentucky was a 14.5 points per game and 40% 3-point shooter with the Kentucky Wildcats. He may have actually left a college team that had more talent than the NBA team that he joined. One guy who had a bit of a breakout year last year was Montrezl Harrell. He averaged 11 points and 4 rebounds in only 17 minutes, and he's proven to be a very, very good energy big man off the bench, and I hope he continues further this year. When the Clippers parted ways with Doc Rivers' son Austin, in return they got veteran big man Marcin Gortat. He'll be a handy player for them, and he's pretty good for a double-double and will provide some good veteran leadership. After getting into an argument with John Wall last year, his position was pretty much untenable with the Wizards, and he was dealt in the off-season. The Clippers also signed handy player Luke Mbah-a-Moute. He was quite a handy player for that Houston team, bringing some very solid defense off the bench, and I think he will be missed by that Rockets team more than they think. I think he's a solid pickup for the Clippers, and he'll be a handy player off that bench. So with this roster, where does it leave them heading into the 2018-19 season? I think they're a scrappy team who could catch a few teams off guard, and some nights where Lou Will and Tobias Harris cut loose, they can pick up some wins, but I think their talent is severely lacking to compete in the West. I think if they were in the Eastern Conference, they'd be a fringe playoff team, but in the West, I think they get buried, and I think they win about 30 games at tops, and I think this could be a tough year for the Clippers. What do you guys think? Where do you think the Clippers finish up? Thank you very much for watching. If there's a team or a player you would like to see a preview done of, feel free to pop it in the comments and I will do my best. Thank you very much for watching.